What is up, people? This is Abraham Walker with Ask A Walker, your Northern Virginia real estate agent. We're continuing our series, The Landlord Corner, where we're talking today about handling an appointment like a pro. We like to so this particular category, we're going to move into three phases, right? So we have the inquiry, right? This is before the appointment. This is when somebody actually reaches out to you. Then we're going to go into the showing at the property. And then we're going to talk about the follow-up process, right? And this is like a pro. So some of this stuff may seem a little bit over the top, but like I said, if I were you and if you're not using a real estate agent to handle this part of the process, what would you do? Like, what would we do if we were you? This is what we're going to get into. Okay, so somebody's reached out to you, right? Whether it's online or via phone, right? Which is very rare these days, or text message. We've seen that a couple times as well. These inquiries, right? These are very important processes for you to ensure that you don't waste your time, right? You got to remember, only one person is going to live in the property at a time, right? Only one tenant gets it. So you're looking for the best tenant possible, right? So the very first thing you're looking for in the inquiry is you're going to look for, let me make sure that I don't block you. All right, let's go like this. Okay, so you're going to get personal information, right? So personal information. So what is this? You want to make sure you know their name, right? You want to get their phone number. If the lead comes off of Zillow gives you this really weird email address system. So you want to gather as much information as you possibly can off that inquiry, right? And this is upfront before you talk about the property. Do not talk about the property until you get their personal information. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to talk to them about their time frame, right? So what are you looking for, right? So if somebody asks you, I'm interested in your property, you get all their personal information, you want to ask them a simple question. When are you planning to move in, right? Now, if the person gives you if they give you like a roundabout answer, then you want to do some digging right there. You want to ask them, okay, great. So when are you currently in a lease? If they're currently in a lease, you want to find out, okay, great. When is your lease up? My lease is up at the end of May. Okay, are you looking to move into the property at the end of May, or would you like to move in a little bit earlier so that you can have some time to move your stuff in? Depending on that answer, that'll give you a time frame, right? So you're trying to narrow this information, their time frame down to make sure you're not wasting your time. Because if you have a property and you want to move, middle of April or April 1st, and they say that they want to move in at the end of May, and you have a lot of prospects, do you want to waste your time with this individual? Maybe not. Now, the next thing is you want to find out their motivation. This is similar to time frame, but you want to find out, why are they moving, right? If they're in a lease already, then you want to find out, okay, great, why are you deciding to leave that lease, right? And you can ask these questions, right? I mean, they're going to be moving into your property. You have not a right to know, but you can ask the question. Most people answer these questions, so it's not an issue. After at the inquiry, then you're going to set the time for your showing. What we like to do for our showings is we like to chunk it out, right? So let's say, for instance, we have a set of inquiries that come in at a given period of time. Then we want to move all of those inquiries into these blocks so that we can manage our time most efficiently, right? So maybe you have 3 to 5 people in at a time, and then you want to move those people into this block, or however many people are inquiring. Once the property comes on the market, you're going to have your most number of inquiries. So you're trying to move those people into blocks, right? And that's just how moving forward, right? So one-off showings, that's fine if you have the time. But if you're doing this like a pro, this is how we manage it, right? We just give them times. Okay, great. You're interested in seeing a property. Okay, I'm showing it at Thursday at 5:30 or on Saturday at 1 p.m. Which time works better for you? All right, at the showing, we want to make sure we are early, right? So we're early. This is especially important if you have a tenant-occupied property. You want to make sure that the property is in some showing condition, right? You want to make sure you have all the lights on. have it all lights on, and when the individual comes, hopefully you have like some type of flyer or handout, and this flyer is going to be twofold. On the front of the flyer, right? So on the front, there's going to be info about the property. So this is going to be property info. And then on the back of the flyer, there's going to be info about the area, right? So like this house is this many minutes away from the nearest metro. It's this many minutes away from these local attractions, all these things, right? Remember, this is like a pro. This is what the pros do. You have the time. So you can do the same thing. Okay, so you're going to hand this out to them, and then you're going to highlight the property, right? The flyer is going to do some of the heavy lifting for you, but you want to kind of talk up some of the points of interest, things that you like about the property, things that the tenant likes about the property, right? This is where you're going to have some salesmanship about yourself, right? Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to preemptively, right? Talk about things that are commonly asked about the property, right? Like we have this rental listing. We had a rental listing that the parking situation was confusing. And so everybody asked about the parking, so it made much more sense for me to preemptively state, okay, great, thank you so much, welcome to 123 Main Street. This is a 3-bedroom home, 2 bathrooms. You're gonna really love the kitchen. It's a updated kitchen, the new flooring, one of the largest pantries that I've ever seen. And parking. Let's talk about the parking. The parking situation is yada, 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 right? So you want to preemptively let these people know this, because this is all about sales right now. This is the show. All right, so they've walked through the property. We're still at the showing. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to close them, right? Coffee is for closers. So you're going to ask them, okay, great. Now that you've seen the property, when do you want to move in? That's a very assertive close. And like I said, only one person is going to be able to get the property anyway. So you want to find out if they are either seriously interested in the property or they're not interested at all. If they're not interested at all, do not stop talking to them. Do not do that. Next thing you want to do is you want to get some feedback, right? Feedback. You want to get some feedback from them. What do they think about the property? How do they like the property? How does it show? What about the price of the property? What about the area? You want to get these concerns from them, because if the same people, remember you're doing these batches, right? If several people say the same thing about the property, then it may be true. You may need to do something about it. Okay, so now we're moving to the last phase, which is follow-up, right? Once the person leaves, maybe they said that, you know what, we're still looking at properties. We don't know what we want to do. You want to make sure you follow up immediately, right? Follow up immediately. So what you're going to do is you're going to do something where you do the same day, you're going to follow up with them, right? So this is going to be on whatever medium they reached out to you. You're going to reach out to them and say, hey, thank you so much for, you can get some canned messages to handle this part of the process. Maybe we'll provide you with some of our canned messages. I'll think about that. So you want to just have some canned messages. Hey, thank you so much for coming to my property. You want to then email them this property, this little flyer sheet that talks about your property. And then you want to find out, okay, great. So when are you thinking about making a move? If they are maybe like a month or two out, then you just want to put them on a follow-up campaign. And then lastly, keep closing. Right? So the whole purpose of this is to make sure that these individuals hopefully move into your property one day. If you have any questions about this, this 3-tiered approach, not 3 tiers, it just moves and it's just 3 phases, right? Please shoot me an email to abraham@askawalker.com or call me 703-539-2053. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, comment, share it, or subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.